1320 WILS, your morning wake up. You know, there's always going to be in this world people that just you don't like, right? You just, for whatever reason, you don't like them. And it could start right away. It could grow over time. You've just got a feeling of, I don't like you. I don't want to be around you. If it's a coworker, well, that's tough. If it's somebody you are right across from in a cubicle, maybe in your place of employment, that can be difficult. But you try to do, the workaround. It could be a certain family member you're just never going to click with. But, how do you get through that? How do you get through with, not liking people, but finding a way to, like the bumper sticker says, coexist, and maybe, even do more than that over time. Let's talk about it this morning with a counselor specializing in stress management and how to get along with others. Veronica Sites, back in the show. Veronica, good morning.
Good morning.
So have there been people in your life that you knew right from the start? I mean, from the moment that you met them, that it wasn't going to click. It was never going to click. Do you believe in that?
I've had those opportunities.
Okay.
I've had those challenges at times where you're like, oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? What did I do? I mean, but the person walks in a bad mood or something, and we now have two personalities that are like chemicals reacting to each other. It's either toxic or it's going to blend, and we have to figure out what we're going to do with the mess. Yeah.
Yeah, so you believe in chemistry. You believe that there's something to that there are people who instantly click and mesh even though they've never met one another, they don't know anything about one another, and there are others that are just like the two plus ends of the magnet. Boom, they're repelling instantly.
Yeah, the chemistry, the way that I believe in chemistry is just understanding how the brain releases a lot of different chemicals.
Yeah.
And of course, the positive makes you feel good, and the negative is, they really act as toxins because they are toxins in your body. Well, there are those dynamics with people and personalities because we're unique in personality, but there are no two people on the planet that have the same heritage and upbringing, and the heritage including, financial mindset, all of the things they've been exposed to up until that moment these two people meet face to face. And our expectations are imposed on other people that they can handle things the way that we do. And that's where the clash happens.
Okay, so what do you do? What do you do, and what do you advise people to do to try to improve the situation, improve a relationship that maybe got off to a bad start, or maybe ongoing it has just been, even the status quo is not good. How do you go about improving that? And I want to ask you, is that the classic "it takes two to tango"? Like, does that other person have to meet you part way down the road, maybe not halfway, but part way, or is the onus on you? You realize there's a problem and you want to improve it, so the onus is on you. What do you think?
It's a little bit of both. The number one thing that I advise people is find one thing about that person that just utterly irritates you that is positive. I mean, it may be something as much as or as little as, okay, you know what? I don't like that this person is in my work department, but truth is they've been there for 10 years and they might actually have a little bit of insight that I could benefit from. So let me focus on their expertise, if you will, and focus on that and value them as a person. What you focus on will begin to grow in your attitude towards them. The second thing is that, yes, it's up to the individual first to have a flip of the switch in mindset and attitude, because the attitude that one holds does determine the altitude or how high any level of engagement is going to go. It's either never going to get off the ground because the attitudes are hardened, but the only one you can control is yourself. The benefit to that is when you choose for yourself what you're going to focus on is positive and make an effort over time, and it's not immediate. In our microwave society, we expect immediate results. Over time, what is mirrored, in other words, if there's something negative that person is doing, give it back to them. If it's, don't mimic them in a condescending way, but if it's a tone or an attitude, respond to them in the very same way. And as soon as they recognize it's a problem, then that's your opportunity to speak up and say, you know what, I I'm responding in the same way that you're spoken to me. I don't know if you have noticed, but I'm making an effort. I would like to meet you halfway, and then just let them know what you're doing, because people are generally clueless, as far as, what somebody's doing as far as an effort to improve things. They have to be told. But when they're told, now you pass that baton over to the person to reciprocate or engage in the same direction.
You see, that second method that second method you described there, I was thinking about that and thinking in past events in my life, and there were a couple where I was saying, I'm going through that, and it can kind of get close to a dust-up. So you got to be careful with that too, right? I mean, if somebody's responding aggressively, that if you respond aggressively, you might come to a meeting of the minds, but you also might come to a different kind of meeting.
I mean, the fifth.
Yeah, I was trying to allude to that without being a complete bore, but I was, exactly right. We try to overcome these things in our life, but there have been times in my past where I might have got my blood up a bit. Okay.
Yeah, and the key to that is very simply broke down into three parts. You have to plan, you have to prepare, and then you perform. So when you're ready to make a change, have a plan. Be prepared to activate that plan, and also to activate the boundaries necessary to maintain the plan for the results you want. That's where the performance is. You always perform towards the results that you want, and when necessary, you disengage. In other words, when you feel those emotions escalating and more than words are ready to fly, you take that deep breath and go, okay, you know what, for right now, I think it would be better if we resume this conversation, let's just say 10 minutes from now, 20 minutes. You pick the time, and then go back. Be prepared to go back and resume it when your emotions have calmed down and can make better decisions with your brain versus the emotions.
That was very rational. That was very well scripted, very well planned in the mind. I wish maybe I'd done that a little better at times. But I try to do that now, but I don't even achieve it as well as you just laid it out. Look, we always have to work. Anyone who says I've never worked with a person that I didn't absolutely click with, I'm not buying that. But when people say, look, I've had to work with people that I don't click with, but it's been difficult, and this is how I've got around that, I usually want to listen a little closer to that overall. Makes sense, and I think resonates with a lot of folks. Veronica Sites knows a lot about conflict resolution. You just heard some of it right there. Difficult situations we find ourselves in this realm that we share, and sharing it in a better, more positive way can never be a bad thing overall. Veronica, where do we find you online?
ConflictResolutionSpeaker.com.
Excellent. Outstanding. Always good to talk to you, and good advice overall. Have a wonderful day.
Fantastic. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Veronica Sites, our guest here. People we're not going to click. We're never going to click. It's not going to work. You got to make it work somehow, some way. And that's easier said than done. But in the process, can be a very positive thing. Can be. Could be up to you. This is 1320 WILS.